Hey YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I want to talk about the KaBar Dozier designed knife. And this knife, I feel like I gave it a pretty rough first review. I'll probably, I want to give it a second chance. I actually ended up buying my own here, and I wanted to give this knife a second chance. I wanted to look at it once more and just talk about it again. Now, there's just a few things that I didn't mention in my last review that kind of shaped my opinion on this knife. And I want to first be clear, this is my own here. This is my knife. I ended up buying one. I wanted to have one because, first, it's classic. It's a classic knife. If you're a knife collector, personally, I think this is one that you should either have owned or own. And it's a fantastic little user. But I wanted to be clear that this one I've added this sharpening choil. Did that because I wanted to keep the blade from smiling in the back. I wanted to keep this blade completely straight. There is a little bit of a recurve, but that'll straighten up. So, and you can see even on the original grind on even this D2 one that back here the blade is going to be like really thick. Excuse me. And it's going to be very thick back here. And it's not going to sharpen as well as if I had done this with the sharpening choil. It's going to keep everything straightened up. So the issue that I actually have with this knife, and it's a fantastic design, don't get me wrong, but the thing that I have against it is it's dated, okay? This design harkens back to, I want to say maybe the 90s. This knife has been around for a very long time. This design has been around for a long time, and it really has a lot of design cues of knives from the 90s, early 2000s. And one of those key features is this thumb stud. I actually used to have an old Smith & Wesson lockback knife that was actually designed by a prevalent knife maker and designer. And it was a mid-lock, black Zytel handle, same kind of thumb stud. You had to unscrew this to take it off and switch it. And that knife was from 1999. Only reason I knew that is because the printing on the box had the print date on it and everything. So I knew when it was built. So, and that knife had this same feeling and this same look of just black plastic handle, thumb stud that's removable with jimping that I actually do not, while I'm opening it, I don't even interact with it. I really actually just press against this top part. And so yeah, I think that was one of the things that I didn't really make clear or even mention in my first review of this one, is that the design itself is a little dated. It doesn't excite me. It's a little bland. Which, can be a very safe thing. That could be a very safe thing, kind of like the Wee Banter. I used to have one, and the reason why I sold it, it was just too simple for me. It just was a knife, and I like to have a few thrills on my knife. Now, this one here is going to be a beater, but, with that one, I was like, the action's perfect. The drop shut on the knife is fantastic. The quality of the steel is fantastic. The handle is fantastic, but it's very meh. So this knife, I hated to give it such a bad shake, but after using my knife, my buddy allowed me to use this one for a few days. He said, you can use it. I bought this to be a beater, and a knife that I would abuse while I work on my truck, and you can use it. I don't want to break or damage somebody else's knife before they've even had a chance to use it. So and maybe when he's used it quite a bit, I may be like, okay, now I'll take that D2 and test it against my AUS 8, which I forgot to mention. I got this one in AUS 8, did not get this in the D2. I prefer AUS 8 just because it's easier to strop up and it's easier to sharpen. D2 is not a hard steel to sharpen, don't get me wrong. I just do not, I mean, there's just something about D2 that's been soured, okay? I mean, that's a video for a later date, but I mean, D2 is in almost every single budget knife from China, you know, and there's nothing really special about it for me, at least. Now, I will say, if you are a custom maker, or if you are somebody that is using D2 and doing a custom heat treat, treating it right, and putting it in an epic knife, I would say, yeah, I would probably use that. Like Medford, I mean, he does an incredible job on D2. Holy cow. And I mean, some people are like, he shouldn't be using D2, but the way he does it and the way it's heat treated is perfect, is fine. But for these cheaper knives, I usually just go with the tried and tested AUS 8. Now, one of the things I've been doing to this knife to make it better for me is, and it's nothing really major, but one of the things that I've done is I've added a sharpening choil and I've added a micro bevel on this edge. So we probably can see it a little bit, probably not. I added a very slight, you can see it over here. This micro bevel is so minute. And so I did do that. It is, it's razor sharp. I mean, I really love AUS 8. It's a fantastic steel. But I also, one of the things that threw me off with this knife, and it's something that's praised by a lot of people that own it, but I don't like it, is the way the pocket clip is set up. After a lot of use, this here is going to wear out, and this pocket clip is going to get really loose. And I mean, yeah, you can tighten this up, but it's only going to go so far with this, the Zytel. But I mean, other than that, I think this is a really good knife. Other than it being dated and maybe having a few issues on the handle, for me, this is for me, not speaking for anybody else. This is just how I feel about the knife. I feel that this knife is a great knife to buy, and especially if you are somebody that just doesn't want to have the knife that everybody has. I mean, like, you could just be like, look, I just want to have a knife. I want to know that it's going to do the job, and I want to know that it's going to hold up. This is the knife I would give you. I would probably give you this, or I would give you a buck 110. I would give you that or a buck 110 and just say these two are probably not going to fail you. Now, one of the things I do like is I love the lock back, and at this point I'm just going to be talking about the knife. I don't know what I'm going to title this video as, but I'm just going to kind of roll with this. But one of the things that I really do like about this knife is that it's a lock back. I actually prefer lock backs over liner locks. I mean, liner locks are fun. They're easy to use, but I grew up using lock backs, and I just feel more secure with a lock back than I do with a liner lock. That's just me. But the one thing that I will say that is fantastic, really revolutionary for how old this knife is, and of course Spyderco was doing it, a few other brands were doing it, but the placement of this KaBar logo here, where it has no traction or friction on the pocket clip, it has been fantastic on my jeans. And the fact that this pocket clip is very smooth on the underside, and right where it lands on the outer circle here that is completely smooth. I think that is fantastic. It really saves my jeans and really helps with wear and tear as you carry it. Now, one thing I have been thinking about with this knife, now it's not really a problem with this one, but this one in particular, I haven't done anything to the pivot, but it's very tight to open. And I've actually been thinking about making this knife into a two-hand opener. Just open it that way and then go about your business and then close it. I don't ever really need to open my knives in a flash, and whenever I am using them, I usually am in tight quarters. And what I mean by that is that my desk at work is in a corner, and I usually have coworkers passing by, and I don't ever really want to have my knife being just flung out or really quickly opened, because I'm worried that I may damage something on the side of me, or maybe, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't want to hurt the knife or possibly think, okay, this person just saw me open this knife really fast and they're thinking, okay, he may be dangerous. I mean, I don't know, but I'm also in the view of the public because I'm dealing with customers, and I don't want them seeing me whip out a knife and then maybe get up to do something and they think, oh my God, this guy's on a rampage. I don't know. I mean, people get scared with knives, but for me, I never really need to open my knife all that quick. So I have thought about taking this off, putting it in the box, and just doing the two-hand open. But I don't know yet. I'll think about it. It's something I've been thinking about. But so far, I mean, I've been enjoying the knife. I will say I like the black satin finish, just classic, more than any of the other options. This blue is cool. I thought about getting the blue with the regular satin, but I also don't really want to have a blue knife sticking out of my pocket. I'd much rather just have a small black handle. I think it blends a little better in the pocket, especially if you're wearing very dark blue jeans or black jeans. So I like the classicness of it, but I just feel like it's a little outdated. So if this remedies my past video, let me know in the comments, but I just felt like I gave it a real quick 3-minute video. It's okay, here you go. But I wanted to give this thing another chance, talk to you about what I like about it, and just talk to you that I didn't say that I hate the knife. You know, I just felt like it had a few things that didn't really work for me. So thank you guys again for checking out my YouTube. And if you like this video, let me know. And again, thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. I see those subscriptions and I really appreciate it. So till then, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.